Before I start, I do hope the committee, Mr. Justice, or Senator Justice, I really appreciated your remarks, and I think all of us feel pretty much the same way. The farmers are the lifeblood of our local rural communities, and nobody works harder, maybe the coal miners in West Virginia, but they're right up there, the farmers and the coal miners. And I'm just shocked that where there have been agreements made, and we have farmers in Vermont who, under the IRA, made an agreement, and in response to that agreement, borrowed money and then did the work that they promised to do. It might be solar, it might be stream bed protection, and now got an email saying the federal government's going to stiff them. You know, what I so admire about farmers is like a promise made is a promise kept, right? I mean, this is like impossible for the folks who do this farming to imagine that you have an agreement and then it's violated. So my hope, Mr. Chairman, is that the committee would weigh in here and insist that these deals that have been signed and where our farmers now put the money out, done the work, and are getting stiffed, that we really strongly object and call on the administration to reverse that. I just want to ask some questions about specialty crops. You know, we have so much of our farm program is on commodities, dairy included, but the specialty crops, it's a funny name for me because it's like everything local, everything fresh, and everything nutritious. And my view is we need more, not less, of the specialty crops. A lot of our specialty crop farmers got really hurt by the floods we had in July of 23 and July of 24, and our crop insurance program really needs to be improved. You know, maple syrup is one, which I'd like to talk about. And with Senator Collins from Maine, I've endorsed we've sponsored and introduced the Supporting All Producers, the SAP Act. What that does is helps the sustainability of that program. Another program another bill that we've introduced together, making agricultural products locally essential, the Maple Act. I want to ask Mr. Boring, we've talked a lot about maple syrup, but the climate-related disturbances are not unique to maple. It's affecting all kinds of crops. And my question is, what can we do to provide specialty crop growers the support they need to ensure the continuation of their family farms with all the changes in weather?
Well, I think that's an excellent question. Certainly, we enjoy maple syrup in Michigan as well. We're coming into the season for that. Looking forward to that. You know, I think we need more certainty for specialty crop growers. I think so much of the questions that issues we're talking about today come down to providing more certainty for producers. And in some ways, better valuing the impacts of what these crops are, not only for farms, but for the rural economies that process so many of them, the communities that they feed. We've touched on some points around, you know, revisions to crop insurance, certainly. We need better management tools so that we can deal with increasingly extreme and erratic weather. I think there's promise about looking at how we broaden out conservation practices.
Let me go on to another question. I mean, I think we have to have more emphasis on them because the real opportunity is it's local, it's nutritious. The people in the communities really support it, and it's an entry point for some younger farmers that doesn't have as many financial barriers. You know, just as an example, Mr. Chairman, the USDA has a specialty crop block grant program. In Vermont, received $334,000. That's not a lot of money in the scheme of things, but it did a lot in Vermont. With a $56,000 grant, one USDA recipient in Vermont was able to expand the market opportunities for 60 local farmers. And a lot of this is like the farm stand type of situation. This is tiny compared to the $6.3 billion that we spend on the commodity crop program. I mean, it's important, I know, to you, but the specialty is really important as well. So tell me, how is the federal funding, and Mr. Boring, freeze affected our specialty crop growers?
It creates uncertainty. And I think that's the biggest question of what those risk mitigation tools are going to be into the future, of the reliability and access to markets when crops might be harvested later this fall. There's uncertainty on the research front as researchers are working on this. So in essence, uncertainty.
Thank you. I yield back.